So students, we are going to discuss regarding the blood platelets and the function of blood. So we have discussed a lot regarding the components of blood like RBC and WBC. We gained a lot of knowledge in two aspects of the blood, that is the solid phase of the blood. Now what is blood platelets? So first of all, we know from where it is originated. It is the long fragments, because suppose when you take a very small sample of blood in any equipment, that is the test tube, and let it settle down for some minutes, what you will observe, that the solid part will be settled at the bottom and the liquid, that is plasma, at the top. So among this solid phase, solid particles of the blood, the longest and big one is what? That is platelets, which is known as thrombocytes. Now the question arises, this cell arises from where? Who produces this type of cell? So in bone marrow, there is a special cells known as megakaryocytes. Mega means large. Karyon, that is the nucleus. So literal meaning is that it is the part or the cell, special cell, only present in the bone marrow, that is called megakaryocytes. When we come over to the structure, these are the oval shaped disc-like cells found only in mammalian cell. Mind it, it is only in mammalian blood. So they don't have nucleus, means they all are devoid of nucleus. But platelets also contains various organelles, cell organelles, like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, and some other structures such as granules, tubules, filaments of actin and myosin, and as much as ATP also. That is the number. In what number they are present in our blood. Because we all know platelets are very important constituent for our body. When they are lacking in number, causes various problem. As we have seen nowadays that the fever like dengue, in which the number of platelets was almost going very in the decreasing trend. So in normal human body, it is expected that it should be present in 1,50,000 up to 3,50,000 per cubic meter. So when the reduction is there in their number, that is the very dangerous thing, dangerous symptom. Why? Because they lead to the clotting disorders, which will lead to excessive blood loss from the body. And if it is not checked, not cured, that certainly it will be causing death. When we are seeing about its lifespan, how many days it is surviving. So the least lifespan was having the WBC. Here the lifespan of platelets is only about 7 to 12 days. And the one thing also very important to note, that this formation of thrombocyte means formation of platelets. The process is known as thrombopoiesis. Thrombopoiesis is the process through which the thrombocytes is formed, certainly from the megakaryocytic cell in the bone marrow. Now, to some extent, we will be discussing about the function of platelets. So, the main function of the platelets in our body to release a variety of substances, most of which are involved in coagulation or clotting of blood. So later on we will be discussing quite in detail about the mechanism of blood clotting, how and through what process the blood is being clotted, and in that process, in short, we will be discussing for today class that the fibrinogen, it is a plasma protein present in the plasma of the blood. So they are keeping a very important role in the clotting mechanism. And in all the mechanism steps or process, there should be always involvement of calcium ion. Because when there is lack of calcium ion, this clotting process, if it is lessen in number, lessen in amount, the clotting process may be delayed. But if it is not present, which is one of the very important factor for clotting, then blood is not going to be clotted properly. And you might be knowing one disease, hemophilia. What happens in that type of disease? This is all relating to the display of platelets. Because in this case, a person, if he is getting any injury in the body and when the blood oozes out, it is not going to be clotted. Because the very important factor, that is fibrinogen and thrombin, that person blood is lacking. So we will be discussing in detail in the next class about the blood platelets and how its function. Now the topic we will be discussing, that difference between red blood cells and WBC. So the difference is what? RBC is smaller in size but more in number, whereas the WBC are larger in size but less in number. Now the second point should be noted, that is the RBC, they are non-nucleated except the camel, I have discussed earlier, and it is biconcave disc like cell. Whereas the WBC, that is they are nucleated, maybe the single large nucleus or the nucleus in lobed way. So they amoeboid cell and they just having the shape of amoeboid cell and keep on changing their shape. RBC contains hemoglobin, that is the respiratory pigment, but WBC lacks it, and that is why its color is straw. RBC, they cannot diffuse out through capillary wall. That is, capillary is what? Having very less in diameter, cross section area is very less. So the RBC, they cannot diffuse out through this capillary wall. Whereas WBC, they can very easily diffuse out through the capillary wall. RBC helps in the gaseous transportation, whatever the CO2 and O2 regardingly, whereas WBC, they helps only in defense, means killing any type of antigen. How? Either through making the antibodies by lymphocytic cell or engulfing directly the antigen through monocytic cell. The last one we will be discussing regarding the difference. RBCs settled together means they just overlap each other and making just stack like structure, and it happens only due to abnormal shape. So this type of structure, when the RBC is behaving or doing like that, it is known as Rolex. Whereas WBC, they never form this Rolex structure. Now, to some extent, we will be discussing about the basic function of the blood. We all know we are going through the transportation part. So, blood being a very flexible, or you can say vascular connective tissue, fluid tissue, and we all know why it is vascular tissue, due to presence of plasma having 92% water. So now what type of function blood is performing? So various types of function blood is performing in our body. First of all, because we have gone through already the digestion, respiration part, so when we see or observe the digestion, it will be serving a lot for in the process of transportation of the nutrients, and especially when the food is absorbed and mixing of absorbed food material into blood, and then it is carried to various cells and tissues. So here also a part of transportation, and it is all performed by the blood. When we see in the respiratory mechanism like CO2 and O2, so it helps in the transportation of various substances in various mechanism or various system. The next is what? It helps a lot in healing up the wounds. And how the wound is healed up? The mast cell, the basic role of mast cell, that is all present in the alveolar tissue of our body. So whenever there is a cut in our body, it immediately rushes to that place and heals up the wound. Next, it maintains the body pH. That maintains and regulates also, because when there is more acidity, it helps to convert as the basicity and vice versa. So ultimately it is the best regulator for the pH. And moreover, the water and ionic balance is also maintained and regulated by our blood. The very important, and we all know that as a defense mechanism having WBC, because it is the WBC which fight with the antigen. So the blood also does to prevent the infection by increasing the immunity of the body system. Next, it also helps in transportation of hormones, that is a heterogeneous chemical compound secreted from the endocrine glands. So it helps because hormones, when secreted from the endocrine gland, that is ductus gland, so how it will be carried up to target place? It is the only blood option that takes the hormone up to the target place. Next, that is coagulation. In clotting mechanism, it helps a lot. and whatever the contents or substance the blood is having, that is has a great role to display in the coagulation mechanism. Next, that is helps in transportation of body waste, because not only that only nutrients and the absorbed materials can be transported by the blood, but the waste that is accumulated and that is coming out of the metabolic process, out of the respiratory process, whatever the nature of the waste material in our body, so it has to be transported up to kidney for its final filtration. So it is all helped out by the blood. Lastly, it maintains the homeostasis. Homeostasis is a process in which the body fluid as well as the body temperature is regulated and maintained. So lastly, the blood helps to maintain the normal body temperature.